Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to Sketchcraft Comics and Books. This is where instead of drawing and streaming and making art, we're just going to talk about art and sometimes stories. Particularly today I have joining me again Mr. Paul from the Comics Binge. Say hi. Say hello. Hello.
Hi.
Say hello, Paul.
Hi. Excuse me, sir. It's Comic Binge. Thank you.
Oh yeah, the Comic Binge. Yeah, sure, whatever. So
It's okay.
should be the comics should always be plural. Just letting you know. No, I mean, I guess
fine.
the comics bookstore. That makes sense. I don't know. It's weird to me. Hey everybody. Hey, if you'd like to know more about Paul and his site, the Comic Binge, check us out. This is the Comic Binge at the Comic Binge on YouTube. Paul goes through different comics similar to what you're watching here, but in a much more in-depth, like, you know, why you should buy stuff kind of stuff. Like, check out that. Look, he covered. Look at this. This is dope, right? Like, they did a live stream. They did a 1 hour covering the Batman adventures. Pretty good, right? And he has different people on who have qualified opinions. And there he is. There's Paul. Oh, there's Paul. So this is a pretty dope site, the Comic Binge. You should go check out Paul's stuff. Give him a like and a subscribe and a follow. It's totally free. You just do that. You follow his stuff. You learn about comics. You got something to listen to while you're playing Fortnite or Apex Legends or Dragon Quest 11. What are you doing? There it is. Comics Binge. All right, back to the show. Bye. Today we're going to talk about something that I could care less about, but Paul's a big fan of it. So I didn't like this when it came out. I don't like it now. I'm just going to put that out there. But I can give a fair and honest critique and point out what I think is cool and what isn't. So he wanted to talk about Amalgam Comics. And just to give you guys a little refresher on what Amalgam was, I'm just going to read this back to you a little bit. I'm going to paraphrase from the Wikipedia so you know that I know, right? Amalgam Comics was a collaborative publishing imprint shared by DC Comics and Marvel Comics, in which the two comic publishers merged their characters into new ones. So like Batman, DC took Batman and Marvel would take Wolverine. That became Darklaw, right? That's basically it. These characters first appeared in a series of 12 one-shots that were published in April of 1996 between Marvel Comics versus DC number 3 and DC versus Marvel Comics number 4. Another crossover that was pointless. The last 2 issues of the DC versus Marvel crossover event. A second set of 12 one-shots followed 1 year later in June of 1997, but without the crossover event as a background. All 24 of these one-shots took place between the aforementioned issues of DC and Marvel Comics. So, yeah, this was an interesting idea that, in my opinion, no one gave 2 shits about, like, when it came out. And partly, it had little, I don't know how much it had to do with the actual execution so much as the comic book market at the time was in a little bit of a free fall. Right?
Yeah,
this is like right
bad.
before. Yeah. So they were trying everything. Marvel was trying to get another Age of Apocalypse going, basically, right? Because the Clone Saga was, this was the time, Paul, when the storyline didn't work, they kept it going for 3 years. That you explained that one to me.
Well, I can actually. Danny Figueroff will tell you that the sales just kept going. They wanted to keep it going. That's literally what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't good. So
I didn't say it was great. All great.
So to save it, their big event was DC versus Marvel, which, by the way, did get a lot of heat. I mean, not just at the comic book shop. I heard this one at high school from the normies, right? That's why I call them the normies. The normies were like, I heard DC's going to fight Marvel. Can't wait to see it. And it wasn't good, man. Like, there's something about the Marvel DC house style that for the most part impressed Marvel DC editors, but didn't engage the teenage crowd at the time, and it was like they needed Joe Mad behind it, the way sort of Joe Mad led Age of Apocalypse, and they didn't have that on any. There was no standout. I mean, when Ergo did all right, he was like the best of the artists, but there was no real standout artist on any of it. They were kind of leaning back on the 80s George Perez thing, or Walter Simonson kind of look, and I'm a huge fan of George Perez and Walter Simonson, but that wasn't going to push what they needed in terms of sales. What did get them sales was the Heroes Reborn stuff later on. Now you could say whether you did or did not like the storylines, up to you, but the numbers were there for that. This did not have it. Now, I do admit, Paul, that the idea of taking two different characters and merging them into one is a pretty unique idea that I had never contemplated before this, right?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
I think, though, in my opinion, what they needed was Bruce Timm and Glenn Murakami and Paul Dini to design and write all of it. Like at the time, I felt this all would have worked better if it all had that Bruce Timm style. Like if there was a
ironically, the next Dark Claw comic, not the first, because there's two waves. There's the first wave that I was there for, and I had dropped out of comics by the time the second wave went through. And the second wave had a Dark Claw Animated Adventures comic that was basically Dark Claw in the animation of the Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, style.
Right. The style is one thing, but the design execution would have been better.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
Because all of these characters are either over designed or under designed. I'm about to get into these two specifically and just show you with what few tweaks how they could be way better than they really are in this bit. One last thing before I let you say your two cents about it. Is I also think had Darwin Cook been around at this time, he would have been the dude I would have leaned on to execute this stuff. Like a New Frontier style crossover. Yeah. I felt New Frontier had the look I was sort of hoping from all this when that eventually came out.
You wanted a more stylized, classical, not classical, but more of a stylized.
No, I wanted something that felt like a consistent universe, because the designs between the two companies are so weird to merge that you need something that's unifying across it. And I don't know what the hell I'm looking at half the time.
I think that's fair for some designs, for sure.
Like this case in point, Super Soldier, it's technically supposed to be like in the 30s, but it takes place in the 50s. I don't know when the frick this story takes. None of these seem to take place in the 90s. They all take place in random weirdo timelines. There's just no consistency.
Spider-Boy takes place in the 90s.
Right, but they all should be happening at once. It's just weird to me.
They're supposed to. I think Super Soldier is supposed to as well. They're all supposed to take place in the same current time.
I sort of feel like with the Superman Bruce Timm, though, you sort of feel you get this weird 1930s meets modern universe, and I just felt like that's true.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, what was your experience when this came out? Did you like it? Didn't like it? You were a big fan. You still love it?
You already know what I'm going to say. You're going to roll your eyes. I loved this when it came out. Like, I loved it. And now part of it's because like you said, I never thought about combining characters. That was a very novel idea. Now we're talking about not just these as like just stories, but we're breaking down the whole idea of the comic book itself, right? The art, the inks, all that, the storytelling, all that stuff, right? So and this is why I think me and Rob make a great team, is because we're kind of looking at we're looking at these comics differently a little bit. Now, I'll fully admit I'm a fanboy more probably than you are as far as these characters go, Rob. And that goes a long way with this kind of stuff. It just does. And I can't.
You don't feel though. You don't think it's ridiculous to do a crossover and then everybody gets a #1 issue just so there's #1s on the shelves? You know what I mean? For a month, you get all 12. That is a little ridiculous, don't you think?
Sure, but at the same time, it's reality too. Like that's the thing with, I think this is a whole different podcast, honestly, because you're right. I don't think you're wrong. But at the same time, I understand why they do it. So you just kind of have to roll with it. But it is obnoxious. So I'm not going to say.
By the way, nobody knew how to pronounce amalgam. I heard amalgam. I heard amalgam.
I said amalgam. I said amalgam for a long time. I was a big dumb kid.
It's like Jim Lee when he hit Homage Studios. Right? Is it homage? I said all three, no one knows how to say that. This is why they turned it into Wildstorm, because no one knew. You go to Comic-Con and hear people asking all that.
Wildstorm's a great freaking name too, by the way.
Not confusing to say, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not confusing. It's very, very straightforward. Yes, and that should go to anyone creating anything. The simpler, the better, in my opinion. In general, this usually. So with these comic books, I do have a fondness for the first wave. I don't think I've even read all the second wave because I just kind of dropped out. I did end up picking them all up. I will read them eventually. Maybe I'll do a comic binge on it. I definitely won't have you on it because I know you'll just hate it and just hate me for having you on it. But I thought it'd be fun to kind of do something a little different. I've been wanting to kind of revisit these. I actually ended up being on a podcast, the Spider-Man book club. We talked about this issue. But I do think it's worth looking into because I think it's interesting, the design choices, which I know you're going to probably tear to shreds, probably on a lot of this stuff. But at the same time,
not as much as you think, because I'm not going to go back from square one. I would take whatever here's what I'm going to show you, right? This is what I would call phase one. And then as an editor, right, or an art director, I'd come and go, here's how you modify.
All right. Hey, folks. You enjoying the show? You having fun? Ashley, did you know if people like my art, they can go somewhere and buy some art? Yeah.
What? Yeah. Where can they go?
Of course you don't know. No one knows.
How many places?
Well, I used to be on Etsy, but now I got my own store, shopsketchcraft.com. So I was on Etsy for the longest time. Matter of fact, I left it up. So if you guys want to know, can we trust you shipping things? All my reviews are here. And look, they're all 5-star reviews. Like, they're all 5-star reviews. It's like 300 of these are all 5 stars.
Reviews are where it's at, folks.
I don't pay for those reviews. I assure you, I don't have the money. But I just started making my own store because Etsy was taking 40% of my sales, and they weren't even bringing me any. It was all you folks supporting me. Then they took your money. So it's like, hard to ask people to support you, Ashley, and then Etsy takes the support, right?
Yeah.
So again, if it's shopsketchcraft.com, I got prints right now. Right now it's just turtle stuff, but I'm importing everything, right, as we go. And so by the time you guys watch this, it'll probably all fold up. Now, I'll let you know my prints are a little on the pricey side, but I don't really make much money. I make maybe $10 on a $60 print. That's how crazy shipping's got, Ashley. So
oh my god. So and these are like this is like Ninja Turtles like through the years too. This is like over the course of like what, 10 years? Or maybe not that long. But
I did this one. I did this one in 2009.
Yeah. Even more, 15 years.
Yeah. And actually, I drew this one like you do. This is actually cut right here. It's 2 pieces in half.
Ah.
Right? Yeah, this is actually, that's how I used to work. All in pencil. I don't do that no more, Ashley, because I went through my psycho phase. So.
Yep, I'm totally in the psycho phase right now.
I know. Anyway, so if you want to support the show, go there. I'm going to have my original art up on there. I got a newsletter, so I'm not going to bug you with that. It's really just a way to show you what we're doing and then to give you coupon codes and stuff in the future. And eventually when I do commissions, they'll be available here as well. So please go check out shopsketchcraft.com. These designs.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So first off, Super Soldier needs a cape. You can't have a character flying around without a cape. It looks fucking ridiculous. Man. We're going to see in the book. It looks completely stupid. You never know which way he's flying because the cape helps with direction. Second of all, you got to lean on one way or the other. And I think the way to lean on this is to do the red, white, and blue as the whole outfit. And the only thing that's blonde is his hair. So the shield should be red, white, and blue. His belt should be these little bits of yellow just make things confusing. You don't know where to look. You want to look here. And the star needs to be bigger. Now, luckily the star's bigger here, but on the inside it wasn't. So I've made
it wasn't. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Right.
Damn.
So
dude,
also
Rob,
here,
I gotta lie. That cape, you're right. That cape looks rad. That cape is sweet, dude. Okay.
I feel like they should have ran these designs by Eric Larson back in the day. He would have.
Oh God.
Been like, he would have given them great notes. Go look at the Super Patriot design, or
hey, I love Super Patriot.
Super Patriot's funny, but what's the one with the cape? The Shazam,
Mighty Man.
The nurse, Mighty Man. Yeah, go look at Mighty. So like that's just. I look at this. I'm like, it's not that far off from Mighty Man. So
it's
also
not. It really
he needs the
no.
Captain America gloves. Those gloves are so great, and to give him human hands. Look at this. Look at the human.
The red.
Hands. It's
the red is very. The red is very like. Again, it's a more striking image as far as the color really hits you a lot more, for sure. You're right. I like the red, man. You're selling me.
This white into gold belt's ridiculous. It looks like they cut Superman's bottom off. And you know what? There used to be this Barbie Fashion Maker. My cousin had this thing called Barbie Fashion Maker in the 80s.
I remember.
And it was like the stencil set that had 4 different like stencils you can mix and match, and then you would take a rubber, right? Like rubber, not a condom.
I get you.
A lead thing, and you would press down on it and it would imprint, and so you can create different fashion templates. It looks like that. So this needs more unification. On Spider-Boy, you only need 3 things. One, the logo needs to be simpler. This right here, this outline thing is ridiculous. So remove the red, go black, and actually the way Spider-Man's logo worked at the time, and I went and grabbed here, you could see.
I love that thing, by the way. I think it's amazing.
Up to 1994, you see how they taper into the center, right? And how they come out, right? Like here, right? Like the McFarlane, the here. You need more. That doesn't do that here. Right there, it's all way too thick.
I like that. Yeah.
So for me,
your modifications are good, man. I like them.
Right here, see, you thin it in and make it all black, and it pops. Now it pops, and then what you do is you take these spider bits off the fucking jacket up here. You don't need it. This gloves have this, but the jacket's Spider-Boy. So you take this off because that's stupid, and then you give him red boots. Why he doesn't have red boots? Spider-Man has red boots, and Superboy has red boots. Or Superman has red. I don't know. Like, give him red boots. The blue boots. Watch it. Look at it. It's not the same.
Yeah. Dude,
and that's it.
Damn, bro. You're selling me on this, man. You sold me on this.
Plus, look.
Good.
Now it looks. You can see the negative space on this. It actually looks Supermanish. This negative space right there. But here, that don't look like a Superman bit. You know, it looks like one of those generic dudes on Krypton and Superman movie. Remember when in Superman the movie, all those other guys on Krypton had generic logos? You're like, what the fuck is that?
They're pretty gnarly.
Right. So that's what I would do. And I went, and we'll get to there, but I did one full page here with the cape.
Oh,
right,
dude.
Really quickly, so you can see. Let me show you the difference here. Right. Look when he's flying. Like, this is stupid. Like,
well, it doesn't look that bad. You stop that, Rob. You stop that.
It's horrible. There should be a cape.
It doesn't look that bad.
There should be a cape. This is bad. This is really bad. Also, he makes this bandana right here, this head part, too small on the interiors. On the cover, Gibbons did it right. See how high it is? It's perfect.
Yeah.
But on the interior, look how dumb that looks. Look at that.
It's I like that.
You can't show his forehead. No, you
can't.
Being
too hard.
No, it isn't. Look, I painted it. Look at that. That's superhero.
God damn it.
Look at that.
Damn it.
Look at that.
Damn it.
Painted right over there. See?
God damn it. I still like it though. God damn it. All right. All right.
You get it. Come on. And
look, dude, listen, how about this? I like both. Both are fun.
I know you would say that, but that's not how things work, right? You got to go and make it's not life. Like, come on. Human hands, dude. Look, his hair ain't even blowing in the wind. It's ridiculous. Look. Just add some hair blowing. It's not hard. This is ridiculous. So anyways, man, I'll let you
desecrate the great Dave Gibbons?
Hey, man, this ain't his jam. He's good at pulpy, real, like actual, like boots on the ground stuff. This fantastical shit ain't his business, bro. Like, I'm sorry. I just don't think he gets it. Can he draw? Yes, but design it? No, I don't think it's very well designed at all. Like, sorry.
You know, that might be probably because, you know, he did some Rogue Trooper stuff for oh my gosh, 2000 AD, and there's some. I mean, he definitely there's some cool. I mean, I'm not sure if he was the original artist, but there was some cool design stuff. But then also you got to think about this too. He had to do this really quick, probably. I imagine with not like a lot of lead time, and they probably
how long it took me to sketch this. I literally did it while I was waiting for you for about 40 minutes before the podcast.
Sir, come on. You were waiting for me. I was putting my daughter to bed, sir. Come on. No.
Well, I did it in 40 minutes. I think Dave Gibbons could have spent an afternoon, So,
I will defend Dave Gibbons because I love Dave Gibbons a lot.
I love Dave Gibbons too. Listen, you should go listen to his interview on Comics Kayfabe. He did like a 2-hour-long interview.
I have. They're great. Yeah,
really
I've listened to
It's
them.
fantastic. I think it's
really
great. This needed another pass. So also, I have a problem with this fundamental design decision here, right? One last thing. Yeah. It's called Super Soldier. Clever because he's a super soldier, Superman. But the problem I have, right, is that means his acronym is SS and he's got blonde hair. And
yeah. Okay. All right. I see.
As a guy who's had to deal with licenses, perhaps we should not be putting SS on the front book, right? With the Nazi symbol right there.
That's fair. That's fair. So, okay, listen, I'm gonna say this right now. So, I think you're bringing up valid points, but I haven't read this issue in probably 10 years, right? And so I read it this first time this morning. I've always liked this comic a lot because I like the Captain America and Superman are they're two very similar like characters from the comic books, right? And Mark Waid wrote this, and Dave Gibbons obviously drew this. And as from the design wise, I'm not as critical as you. That's just reality, right? Me, and I'm curious what you, because I feel like Dave Gibbons, I know you like Dave Gibbons obviously, but he seems like not exactly your style as far as like
he should be drawing Punisher. He should not be drawing Superman turned into Captain America.
Right. But but that being said,
like, when he should be drawing aliens. Like I would love to see Dave Gibbons aliens with Space Marines.
I would too. Yes. I would too. Well,
I don't want to see Dave Gibbons' Toy Story. All right, like.
Do you want me to go through the story real quick? Really quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so just really quickly, we'll just go through it. You have Super Soldier. He sets up, his origin, which is pretty much is Captain America, Superman together, and you show him he disappears from the world just like Captain America, gets refound. You have Lex Luthor and the Red Skull together as the Green Skull. The cool little thing, Jimmy Olsen is Perry White. Basically, he's the chief. He's the one that is basically connected with Captain America, Super Soldier. Lots of Easter eggs here, lots of fun stuff. We have the shield of the Superman's S. They don't really explain where that's from. I think that's my biggest criticism problem of the story.
This whole book should have took place in the 30s and just been the origin story.
I agree. I agree. Well, and I think the second one they did together on the next wave it's like an old time, like all in the
it's backwards. This should be the origin, and the second book should be after he falls in and picks back up.
I agree. I would agree. That being said,
mistake.
That being
look
said,
look at this. This is the only thing that looks Dave Gibbons-y to me right here. This panel.
Really? I disagree.
Out of this whole book, this feels like Dave Gibbons. Everything else, not really. No.
I don't know about that.
This looks more like Gary Frank to me.
I could see that, but
Gary Frank trying to do John Byrne. That's how I read it.
Wow. So anyway, we have here really quick. This is a not very meaty story, but I will say it may not be very meaty. It's a very fun read in my opinion. I know you may disagree. I think Mark Waid and Dave Gibbons did a great job of setting up a lot of story here, which we get here. We have the classic, changing into the thing. I don't want to move it over.
This isn't consistent. You see, like this doesn't look like this and this are the same dude. Now at this, where the red, white, and blue thing, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The shield was
it's so weird.
I agree with that. If they would have made the shield more of an idea of why it's there for, and then maybe make it the same color scheme, it would make more sense. But whatever. I'm not going to argue that completely. But I do think Mark Waid has a lot of fun, and I think you really see Clark Kent and Steve Rogers, that they're different people, but they're very similar. And I think the characterization is like a great, honest mixture of both characters. And I think here you see that. I kind of wanted to have Steve be the cartoonist here because he's an artist. So, but they didn't really do that here. But again, it's only 22 pages. You can't really do a lot here. So he's flying around. A lot of exposition. Again, by the way, I love thought bubbles. Now, okay, this page here.
Never do this, folks.
I love this. This
crotch piece
I love
should be shadow. This is not good. This right here, that can be black.
I like this picture. See, I'm not staring at his ass.
You don't need the bottom of his balls right there in red. Like, I'm just telling you. Like, just telling you.
That's fair.
It's not helping.
Listen, I love this page.
It looks like a goof. It looks like a Mad Magazine bit. Like, it's not.
Despite the underwear, I love that picture. I love that panel. Always loved it. To me, this Gibbons knows how to tell a concise story very, very well, and it's very fluid. Establishing shot, White House. He's by a dial. It's just like
right. He does, but the shit's corny. Like the Red Skull being in a fucking robe.
This is supposed to be
being in a robe is not. This is not getting a 15-year-old kid to buy this book, man. This is for like 30-year-olds at the time.
But I don't think I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing in this instant. If it was
their goal series, at the time was to get that Age of Apocalypse audience. This is not the Age of Apocalypse audience.
Well,
I was there, man. I know what they were going for. Like, you can't.
They were going for make money.
Yeah, and it did not have the effect they were looking for. Which is why you've never.
What they were.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I think that I don't think you're wrong, but I don't think that they're aiming for an audience of just kids. They're aiming for an audience of. See, I like this stuff.
That's ridiculous.
I see.
I almost feel like you need Don Simpson drawing this at this point. You know, if you're gonna go that way, go full cartoony. You know.
Anyway, so Super Soldier.
That's why a cape would prevent that. By the way, I'm just letting you know.
Which again, I would say, but you'd also, you're right with that. Super Soldier comes in, fights the Green Skull, Lex Luthor, or there's like a Green Skull in the actual Amalgam Universe.
You have here.
See, but I like all that. See, this is all strong stuff. I like the fact he's gonna fight the machine again. I like that shot where it's the top panel there where he's looking up at it. Why he doesn't notice it when he comes in? That's another criticism, I guess you could say.
You don't need the butt crack.
Why are you so fixated on the butt?
It's almost like a G-string. It's almost a G-string.
Oh, I've never noticed the butt.
Look,
ever.
I'm a visual guy, man. You just look right at you, like you don't have to draw the crack, man. Like it's just like thunk, you know.
Crack kills apparently. But see, I love this. I love when he throws them out. I love those are two great panels. Those are great. I love this. See, I love all this stuff. These 2 pages right here on the end. Love them.
I think
these are fun.
If this were drawn in a Bruce Timm style, I'd like it more. Look, this is one of the problems. I'm one of these people out there who doesn't like the visual art style of any of the Clone Wars cartoons because it's trying to be cartoony but also realistic, and it doesn't work for me. You go one way, you go the other. You can't do both, and this realistic cartoony thing doesn't work. Like in my opinion, like it just you don't know who. You know, some people can pull it off. I think Jeff Darrow can pull it off, but like not many people can pull it off. And
that's fair.
To me, this
I like, but yeah. See, I like this stuff. This stuff looks good. I think Gibbons. This is Gibbons. Like to me, like I think this looks great. I love this page right here where he comes up. I love like the small close up to the fist. That's great. He hides the butt crack on that one too. By the way, there's no butt. No butt on that. It's for you.
Yeah.
But anyway,
right
so he fights.
It's right there.
Barely.
There it is. Right
That's
there.
barely there. Oh god.
Look at that.
Jeez.
Look at that.
Crack killing you, man. So yeah,
Crack kills,
basically, crack kills. So basically, Lex Luthor, aka Green Skull, whatever he is, old guy, Hugh Hefner, fights. Uses this new Krypton thing. It happens. Love that page right there too. By the way, love it. Love where he rams into him. There's really great images here that I think Gibbons really. I think maybe that's what they're going for more than anything. It's just great, not iconic, but this is stuff that we're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like it's the panels. Give me the great looking panels that have action in it. We talked about it before the show, right? We love action, and that's what we're getting from this. We're getting the Super Soldier in action. And as a kid, I was one of the kids who bought these comics, bro. So like as a middle schooler, that's all I wanted. I wanted these
right, but you understand. My opinion isn't coming from just being an opinionated artist. I did spend 10 years designing clothing, right, for mass market, and I've even done costumes too. So like, I've had to translate, licensed characters into stupid cheap costumes. So I know what to do, what not to do, and where you just can't. There's nothing you can do sometimes. Yeah. You're like, well, that's just what.
Yeah.
But in this case, that's why my opinions are coming from are like, I know what reads across the room, and like most comic book artists don't have that experience, right? They sort of just go. This to me says, well, we have to appease DC and Marvel. So look, there's Superman, there's Captain America. I'm like, yeah, but that's not a character.
Is definitely
that's
what it
two
is,
different things.
Sure.
It's not a cohesive character.
I think your notes about the shield and the capes and the gloves are really on the money. Like, I do think
you don't need a forehead right there, bro. Don't need that. Hair can just be popping out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So again, I think this is great movement pages. Again, Gibbons just knows how to make a page work. He's a vet. And these are all great. I love them.
Also,
love that picture.
I get more Brainiac vibes than Red Skull with this. So I think he should have just been like a full skull face, no skin.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is weird is like he kind of. There's a Green Skull in the Amalgam Universe. It's not him. It's very weird. So,
and they should have gave him the power suit, that superpower suit.
Yeah,
that would have been dope.
That would have been cool.
This battle goes on too long. It should end, and then
really,
he could,
I think it was cool.
Yeah, it's a whole issue, man. Like if you got one issue,
I like that.
You know, like you need. I think Luthor in the power suit is always the more iconic deal than a big Nazi.
Yeah, I see your point. I like this.
It's phase
like
one. Like he could have done this bit where he takes this thing right here and destroys it, chunks right. That's it. Because I like this right here, but that could have been like right after this, and then bam. Instead of this back thing, he throws it in there and ends it. And then Homeboy's, you think you can stop me? And then he pops out. He's like, look at the purple. So you're like, oh no, you know, and then he has to like defeat him.
But it's very Luthor for him to not have like the power suit's more of a later thing in the 70s, whereas this is more or in the 60s, like you know, that era. At least from my knowledge.
Well, this is like 1930s design with X-Files dudes, you know, on like Tommy Lee Jones. Harrison Ford's Air Force Down, whatever that. What was that called? Air Force One. Yeah.
Force One. Yeah. Great movie, by the way.
The line of what was that? What was that Clint Eastwood movie? The Line of Fire. What was that one?
And Line of Fire.
Yeah.
Good movie. Yeah. So Super Soldier comes in, throws a bomb at. Which I love this bit. I think a great bit. See, Wade just knows how to do it, man. I think Wade and Gibbons are a great team. This is a fun comic to read. It's brisk. But it never, to me, it's never boring. And I know you may not like it.
That's my problem.
But see, I like corn though, man.
I know you do.
It's fun. This is a fun issue. This was a fun issue.
I was hoping this would have had one of those Cornet ads that were big around this time too, so we could have just had that in there. But
man, listen, all I gotta say is this comic is by two legends. It's a fun issue. It reads quickly. I do think your criticisms are I totally can see them, and I agree with them to an extent. The costume, I like your ideas a lot for the costume. I think it's a great comic. I think again, you get a lot of information. If you read all the Amalgam comics, this is definitely one of the better ones. And I know it's not probably for you saying much, but yeah, this is a fun issue.
Also, like they kayfabe. Like in the next issue, like this is like, are all these letters fake people too? Otto Sternberg,
they're all
have
fake.
to be all fakes, right? Simon Schuster, Kirby C. Yeah, very clever. Yeah. So,
you hated it.
I didn't do any other edits on Spider.
Hold on, really quickly. This is what you are from the Living Color. You're like you're man on comics. Hated it.
Yeah. Sorry. But like, look, you can see, look at this outline. It's just, you don't want an outline spider, man. Like it's just hard to read. It's hard to read.
Okay, really quickly, help me. I mispronounce everything, and so will you help me pronounce the artist, Mike?
Wieringo.
He seems like someone you'd be really into.
Oh, I love Mike's art, dude. I thought his Fantastic Four that he ended up doing after this was really great. I'm not a big fan of his Telos book, like his wannabe battle chasers thing. Like, you know, I just thought he doesn't have the edge. He does not. His Spider-Man, he's a good house safe artist. Like, you know, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Superman, all perfect classical. You know, my kind of idea of a comic book anyone could read, you know, and sort of fit all ages. Like a 30-year-old could read it, a 14-year-old could read it, an 8-year-old could read it. You know, his art style would make a great animated series to an extent, you know?
No word. Yeah. No. I that is well said. Dave Gibbons. See, and that's the thing I would say is that I don't think they were aiming for that younger audience with Super Soldier, because it's aimed at older audiences and people who are familiar. That's why Gibbons, to me, makes sense, because he's such an old school kind of style artist as far as how he lays things out.
Yeah, they should have mixed Batman with Punisher and given it to Gibbons. It's just a wrong character.
See, dude, I love that. Now, this one is interesting because I'm gonna spoil a little bit for my. I think this issue is fun. It's not as good as Super Soldier. There's too much going on in this comic.
Oh yeah, it's too much. Yeah,
it's too much. Now, that being said, the art is so fun to look at. Ringo's art is so good, and I love the design of Spider-Boy.
This character, this bad guy is fighting. What's his name? Whatever. It reminds me of what they would later do with Anti-Venom. Like if you look at Anti-Venom, right? You look at this. this is pretty much that design, like a 1.0.
You're not wrong. I mean,
right?
Well, and the thing is, that's obviously Bizarro and Carnage together. It's a great design. I love Bizarnage, man. He looks fantastic.
And I think Bizarnage is a better name than Anti-Venom. I fucking hate that name, by the way. That was like when McFarlane first did Anti-Spawn, everyone was like, we were ripping him a fan. Anti-Spawn? And he had to rename it to Redeemer because it was like, that's the best you got. Anti-Spawn?
Which, by the way, Redeemer, always have loved because I was a big Christian kid when I was young, when I was buying Spawn. So when they made Anti-Venom, I love the crosses.
Yeah, you got your Stephen Curtis Chapman, you got your Spawn comics.
I got my DC Talk. Yeah,
my Redeemer is faithful and true. Right, I know that song.
Okay,
right?
wait, at some point we have to do. I wasn't that deep. I have to hold on story, but really quickly, we have to do the Greg Capullo Redeemer arc.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it's fantastic. So,
that's a great.
But look, here again. I'm gonna go back to it. Like, look at these spider bits on his jacket. These don't need to be here, man. These just get in the way, dude.
Like, I'm gonna give you that too.
Look at this.
But
they look dumb. Like it was almost like, remember when Michael Jackson would have a really flamboyant outfit. Like, it's like, no, I don't. You don't need it, man. You don't need it.
Oh, he's got shoulder pads.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that. Sorry.
Okay, so first of all, I love Spider Boy. I love him.
Great name.
And it is a great name. And obviously, Dan Slott has resurrected the name in his new series, which has been. I've really been enjoying the new character, Dan Slott. In fact, a little self-promotion here.
You didn't name the artist. You named the writer. So who drew it?
Well, Roberto Ramos is who designed it.
Okay, great. Okay.
And I like Roberto. Like I know the art. But Dan Slott's the one who came up with the concept. That's what I mean. But as far as bringing back the name Spider Boy and everything like that, because he pitched this whole idea, like it's all his thing. And Roberto did a great job. I think the Spider Boy design. Have you seen the new Spider Boy design?
No, I'll have to go look.
Why don't you just Google it real quick? Well, let me monologue here for a second. So Spider Boy is interesting. When I was a kid, obviously he's a play on Superboy from the 90s and Spider-Man. It was a really unique concept. I'll be honest, with shoulder pads and all, Rob, I loved this design. I loved it. I thought it was great. And I really was bummed out that he was an amalgam character, because I always liked the idea of a Spider-Boy character. There is a Spider Kid in the comic books that's kind of like Spider.
We're gonna have to take a brief. Hold on, I got this. Sorry, you go ahead and speak. I'm gonna cut you off. Go ahead.
Okay. We have Spider Kid. But he was a joke kind of a character, which later on turned on to Steel Spider, which is why I love Steel Spider. That's a whole different podcast. So I really liked this character, and this comic book was what's interesting about this comic. There's so much going on, and when I reread it for the Spider-Man book club, Rob, I gotta tell you, like I was like, there's just too much going on. Like I love the character. Honestly, I do this a lot of times, and I'm sure I'm not alone. I read comics without reading the balloons a lot.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem.
Okay.
All these one shots should have come out before the Marvel versus DC bit. Okay, and just been origin stories for these characters, very simple origin stories, and then you do the crossover, right? And then it ends with the one shots being their final issues, the second wave, and it's over. Like, that's how you do it. This is all a bunch of too much shit. That's the problem.
I think, listen, you always approach things differently. That I'm like, like I think what they did was fine. I think what you think is fine too. Like I'm like, that's not a bad idea. It's not bad. I don't disagree with it. I think you maybe have, if you would have put them out before, you would have maybe added more mystique and intrigue.
Let me explain to you my reasoning for this, right? In screenwriting, there's a general rule, okay, to storytelling, okay? And this is, I'm going to give it to you now. The rule is you can have a complicated story in a simplistic world, or a complicated world with a simplistic story. if you try to do both, you better be Stanley Kubrick or Orson Welles or Christopher fucking Nolan. You know what I mean? Like, good luck. Most people just can't do it. Or that's why Avatar, the first James Cameron movie, you could say I like it, don't like it. That's a complicated story if I break it down to you. The world, all the stuff they got to do. He just has a simple story. The world's complicated. The story's simple for a reason. If he tried to do both, nobody would have been able to watch it. I'm just telling you, that's how that works out. This is a complicated idea. Merging two different, you got to know what character became what. You know, you don't got to understand what world they're in. Are they all coexisting together? You know, you got to set up the origins and how this all happened, you know, and you have to like resolve it in one issue, which means the stories themselves have to be simpler. So you can make it simple if the complicated story goes into the 4-issue or 5-issue, however many issues that was, crossover, that then you can have an exit way out with each individual and wrapping up those individual character stories. Sense. That's that's my whole reasoning for it, you know?
Yeah. It honestly, this story is so crazy, or not crazy, but they cram so much. Basically, I can just narrow it down with Spider-Boy is running around and like is basically
hold on one
it has
second. Hold on. Okay. We're gonna get to all the story really quick. All right. I'm gonna edit that differently. So what I want to do really quick here is
would you bring Spider-Boy up? Oh, nice. Okay. I love that design, bro.
Yeah, I'll show you something. So
oh no. Here it comes.
All right. So hey everybody. So this is the Spider-Boy design that
you're
bringing up, the Humberto Ramos, the new one. Let me tell you what's missing from this, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Homage that shit. Hell yeah.
It needs the black.
Dude, that looks great. There's the shoes, man.
And honestly, these right here, I would probably take the blue off.
Right, but I mean, like, but the jacket go with the shoes.
Right. So, and I know like they wanted to do this techno thing, you know, but you could put that same design on the back of a jacket.
Of a jacket. So it would almost be like an homage to the character.
Yeah, you kind of need to. And it needs contrast. There's no contrast on this design. So when he's flying through the air,
though, by the way. Yeah.
When he's flying through the air,
that's great, dude. Dude, that looks great. That's man. Oh man,
it's a little too thick,
but whatever, dude. I get what you're doing. That looks great, bro. This is A+ quality content. You're not getting this anywhere else, man. Who's doing this?
Like, how dare you change our shit? Who the fuck do you think you are? I'm like,
you're just giving your opinion. It's not like you're saying it. I like both. To be honest, I like both. I do really like the jacket. The jacket, you're right. That is cool as shit.
Yeah, like it needs.
I like the black too. The black on orange is cool.
So, and I mean, I'd have to play with it, but you could probably do something here where you can like homage Venom a little bit with the white trim.
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh, yeah.
Right. So, like that's. Let me just really quickly.
That. But to be honest, I do like the Humberto Ramos design. I think Humberto Ramos is such an underrated artist, man. I really like his stuff.
He's underrated. He's as professional as it gets.
Well, I mean, but I see
He's drawn X-Men, Spider-Man. He's got the number one selling book with Strange Academy.
People talk about great artists. They don't talk about Humberto. That's what I'm saying.
I own original Humberto Ramos art from 1995, dude. I own a page of Ash art that he did when he did Cinder and Smoke.
He did Ash?
Yeah, he did two miniseries. One was called Cinder and Smoke, and I got one of the pages. So I have original Humberto Ramos art sitting right in front of me on the wall, inked by Jimmy Palmiotti. So
I need to check that shit out, bro.
And so you could watch this. Let me just take this right here, and then we'll get to the story. Watch this.
I gotta have my dinner. I haven't had my dinner yet. Oh, dude. God, I love it, man. It's great.
So you probably,
Need to
I don't
hire
know
you,
how, like I'd have to
Rob.
work it out, but like you could, you know, you could probably do something like this.
I like it. I like that shit,
And then maybe
bro.
like he has like a drawstring that maybe the drawstring's white or something. You know, like it could
Ooh,
be
like
the
the draw.
hoodie.
Like, so is it? So
It
so
could
it's,
be the hoodie, could
it's
be
not a.
white. Like you could have a
Yeah, it
have
could
like
be a hoodie. God. And I would love to see what your critique on that Miles Morales garbage get bag costume.
Well, I kind of designed Miles Morales before there was a Miles Morales. So
I know that's a whole different podcast we do.
but it
That's
needs
cool,
it
man.
needs a jacket. It needs a jacket because
Oh,
look what happens.
so
Watch this.
but I like but to
Look,
be
he
honest,
looks naked. Look at it.
he,
Look at he looks naked. He's naked.
I like both.
He's a naked.
But I think the jacket is cool, especially that cover. That cover thing looks fantastic with the freaking. That looks great, dude. That looks freaking great.
Well, so I just wanted to see what it looked like with the. Yeah, see.
My dog is barking.
Yeah,
That's great, man.
I'd make those tips yellow, not red. So. All right, so there we go,
Cool.
and then you can see. Look at that cape. Cape needs a cape. All right, Spider-Man.
All right.
Tell us the story.
So all right. So it's not much of a story. It's pretty just like this. Carl Kiesel. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. Basically gives Mike Ringo here just Ringo, sorry, as much to do as he can, and puts in way too many characters. It basically just has Spider-Boy going through and fighting as many characters as he can throw in these 22 pages. They put for some reason they put the Challengers of the Unknown or it will be the Challengers of the Fantastic. It's just like it's way too much. Like there's like every character in this is like, hey, we're a new, like here you got Challenge of the Fantastic. You got like a Norman Osborn character. You got a Miles Warren character right there. It is a testament to the art of Mike Wieringo. This is not a complete goddamn mess. To be quite honest, there's so many word balloons. It's just, I imagine you'd be like, yeah, there's way too many here, right, Rob?
Yeah, I think look, the word balloons. It's that it's taking place of look. There's you don't know where. Well, first, there isn't one establishing shot.
There's not.
I don't know
right.
where I don't know where I'm at. I could be on a moon. I don't know where I'm at. There's a lot of weird rando techno brown backgrounds and then white background.
Could you say the first page is establishing shot? Like, because it's like a splash page.
Sort of. No,
like,
because the focus is these two. An establishing shot would be setting the location, just because you can see more of the location in the background is not an establishing shot.
Yeah, that's a good question. All right, there you go, artists or people who are wondering what the hell we're talking about.
No, like really quickly, like.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Like like if Eric Larson was sort of doing this, right?
Mm.
You could have like the building.
Oh, I see. 2 panels. Having one where it shows it, and then have some of that dialogue from the outside going into
it's got like
into the building.
Something. And it had like maybe like an explosion back here,
Yeah.
And it could have like
or maybe a part of the building, or maybe a part of the building's missing.
Yeah, you could have explosions. Like you could,
Yes. Yeah. No,
right?
You're right.
Or you could have like you could have like a part of this building open.
Yeah.
Like
and have it. Yeah, and then
style,
have it just.
And then
Dude.
This could be open.
See,
Right,
you're
so-
right. It would make, and it feels a lot better because because you can actually cram more of that great dynamic poses they have. I think it make it look better with that instead of just being one big page and a bunch of word balloons. You could limit it, have the other panel have more word balloons on it, then transition.
You should
to
go
that.
back and reread your first 100 issues of Savage Jack if you want solid comic book storytelling.
Hey, homie,
It's a masterclass.
Homie, I know me some Savage Dragon. We will cover that one day.
I think you're forgetting how well he paces those books.
Hey, Eric Larson, dude, his Spider-Man his adjectiveless Spider-Man is some of my favorite Spider-Man of all time. Revenge of the Sinister Six is fantastic.
So this needed like maybe like the Sinister League, so the Justice League or something, you know?
Yeah.
Where he's like surrounded by 6 dudes. So like if he's fighting one here or they're back here and then this double page spread could have been him surrounded by the 6 dudes. It's the Sinister League and and then he can be fighting them, you know? Like
yeah, but instead
pace it.
And just for the record, I'm gonna probably bring this thing to the ringer myself, but I still like this issue a lot just because I love the designs of Mike. Like Mike does I love his designs. So but yeah, you're right. Like there's too many characters in this story. There's way too many characters. And they don't do anything except for like, hey,
and they all look vaguely the same to me. So like I can't really tell like this dude's in a purple outfit. These guys are all in purple outfits, but they're all like none of these guys stand out. They all just like they all look like the same dudes. I don't know how to describe it.
I agree.
Like
I still
there's not a big difference between Spider-Boy and his dude in a mustache, right? They got the same haircut.
They're really
it looks like Spider-Boy puts this on as a disguise, you know, like and this coloring, this airbrushing on his face, the colorist needs to go back and someone need to have a conversation. Like you are not doing Mike any favors. That is not good, my friend. Like
okay. Yeah. There's a lot of panels on here, man. Like every page has like 8 panels. Not 8 panels, but it's like 6 panels.
Let me count them, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, the problem is all this dialogue that doesn't mean anything. I'm not against there being a lot of dialogue. It's that it's all exposition to try to like tell you what the world is versus showing you, and you don't have any relationship to where they're at anyway, so it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, no, but again, it's a marvel to me that, no pun intended, that I still enjoy this because I think Mike does really good work. I mean, look at the panel where Spider-Man or Spider-Boy is walking on sideways. Like this, it just
this is a great panel, but this could have been like this should like this right here. You don't need this.
Yeah.
This could be moved up. That could have been there, and this could have been a much bigger deal.
Absolutely. No, there's too much going on in every page. Now I'm all about giving people a bunch of panels on a page. Like I'm not against it, but like you said, there's a lot of unnecessary panels that like I feel this comic would have been more dynamic with way less going on in general, right? So but
it's also confusing to me too. Like here, I'm sorry, man. Like I'm not picking on him.
Very good.
Like I'm confused. So this dude is wearing the lizard coat. Where's the coat? That's a different character. But you see what I mean? Like if that's supposed to be Reed Richards, this is. But look, they have the same color hair, the same face, the same act. Like I just feel like did they draw the guy wrong? You know, you look, she's talking to Reed because it says Reed. Yeah, but you can't look at it with no words and not know what the hell that is. You know?
Yeah. Right.
So like confusing. That's a serious design problem.
You know, and here's the thing though, like again, like whenever Spider-Boy's in the panel though, I love it. I'll be honest, I love it. I like Carl Kiesel. I've read a number of his stuff. He's not a terrible writer. He's a solid writer. You know, like he just was way too much in this comic. And now this comic, you can tell. I think he probably had a lot of fun. This is probably like just something he just wanted to just go crazy at. But yeah, there's way too much going on, and it's a bummer because I think that you get the Spider-Boy origin. Again, it's all tied with Spider-Man. It's basically more Superboy than Spider-Man, I would say. But the origins here, I mean, Dr. Octopus being like a helper is also kind of weird, to be honest. I didn't really understand that with Superboy. It's obviously a Superboy thing, I think. But yeah, the origin here, the clone comes out. Look! Yeah, I don't know, like the giant thing that launches him across the to help fight like the King Lizard, not King Shark, King Lizard. So
yeah, I don't really know if that was, like
it's a play off the lizard and
it's weird is you
Shark.
get the Daily Bugle establishing shot, but then you got like almost a half page of opening a door. It's such a fucking writer's thing to do, man. Like this is one of those things where I get like a script and you're like, a half page, we're gonna open a door. That's your half page. No, like you guys, you got to kick back that one, man. You got to go. What are you doing? Like, really, this Daily Bugle would be a better half page. That means something. In the door thing doesn't mean that's such fucking. I had a writer once hand me a script where the opening splash page was holding up an ID badge because he really wanted to see all the details on the ID badge. And I was like, not only am I not drawing this, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like,
oh, I freaking love you, dude. Oh my god, I freaking love you. This is hilarious.
I refuse
and this
to
for the
draw
record,
that.
as a writer of comics that I want to be and want to eventually be a self-published, comic writer and write decent stories. Every time I get on these shows, I selfishly again love doing these with you because I learn so much from your perspective. Because I'm like, God, he's fucking right.
They do it all the time. They get these writer things where like, look, it's gonna be really great. It's gonna be ID badge. You can learn all this information about it. Like, no one fucking cares. No one cares. Go watch Attack on Titan with the sound off and tell me when you want to see people looking at ID badges. Think about that
fair.
when you're scripting a comic.
It's fair. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. So, King Lizard fights the fantastic challengers people. But again, I love the panel where we have King Lizard here. He's swinging with the gun. I love that. See, that's a great image. I'm not
key. This looks more like Fing Fang Foom to me. This design. This is the part where I think where Ringo falls. He's not good at making vicious, threatening-looking characters.
Yeah, he's definitely more cartoony. Yeah, he's definitely more of a cartoonist.
It's not the cartoony. McFarlane's a cartoonist. He just doesn't have any edge. Joe Madureira is a cartoonist. He has edge. Yeah. McFarlane has edge. When Ringo doesn't have that kind of edge, this character, this face, like.
But I don't think that. But to be honest, I don't think that was the point.
This does matter. Yeah, it was the point. So. Everyone when they're doing this wants their stuff to be remembered and made into toys and stuff like that. And this sort of thing, like, how do I say this? Like it's not a lizard. Like, it should be a lizard.
Yeah.
Like, it needs a lizard head. Like, it needs some kind of thing where, like, maybe it's not going down like that, but it needs. Where's the lizard? The king lizard. What's his name?
Well, his name is King Lizard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's no. Look, I'm not looking at a lizard face, but you see what I'm saying? Like, lizards have long neck. Like, you need like the longness of it in a way.
Awesome.
Like.
It's awesome. Rob, I love. This is so much fun, dude. I could do this all day, man. This is great. This is freaking great.
Go here and redraw all the freaking comics and be like.
Not redraw, but the fact that I like the. Love seeing your perspective. It's a different perspective. Your opinion is not wrong or right. It's just your opinion. I like the King Lizard design. It's fine. He like his goatee. That looks cool. That's cool.
And then you give him the
That's great.
Like,
I wish I could draw.
It's just more threatening. Like this. I don't know. It's not.
I like the goatee. Goatee's nice. I'm just kidding. All right, Spider-Boy comes in.
It's Samurai Jack, right? What's the guy, dude? Aku, or what's his I like that little devil when he gets up there. He's got that. I thought it was Fing Fang Foom when I first saw it. I was like,
Oh no. I knew it was some kind of combination of a lizard and somebody else. I didn't know who King Shark was at the time. Anyway, this is what make it even more confusing. The Shield shows up. It's like, why are they showing up? It's like, come on.
It just needs Spider-Man and Superboy. It doesn't need this Agents of Shield bullshit.
But I love the Spider-Boy thing. It's great. I love the gun. The gun is fun, man. The gun is I love the great gag to me.
Yeah, I like the little pistol. I'm not a big fan of this, whatever the fuck this is, but I like his little.
Well, that's just
pistols.
a freaking like whatever. Yeah, like it's just a goober, as a Spider-Man from the Into the Spider-Verse would say. Dude, I love that. Now Say Goodbye. I use this when I first heard the original Spider-Boy or a new Spider-Boy was coming. That bottom left panel right there. Bottom down one more. Yeah, where's it now? It says, now say goodbye. That's exactly what I put. Now I'm like, ain't new Spider-Boy comes in my house. I say, now say goodbye. All right, so Spider-Boy defeats King Lizard.
Yeah, it doesn't need spoing. You could hit that button and go right to here.
And need more dynamic, maybe. Yeah.
Look, let me give you an advice. If you're writing comics or drawing comics, right? Comics don't work better when there's a slight like this stuff rarely works. It's little to little to little. You go from here, there, boom. Like cut out the middle one. And this is like an animation technique. You just need the big keyframes because you need the human mind as an active participant in the reading. And it doesn't do well when you go step to step to step. You need to go A to C to E or F. You know
what's funny is I feel like manga does a great job of what you're saying. Like they do a great job of not doing that animation style, like what you're saying. Like the static.
Even though they have more pages and more panels to do it, they do less of it, which is really weird. We have less pages and we do more of it. You figure that one out.
Yeah, but listen, I do think that what you're saying is can be right for a lot of things, but I don't want it just to be that only way. I like it. I like stuff like that too. I mean, it needs to be done.
Not for nothing, right? Not for nothing, bro. Okay, like just little word of advice here. All right, Dr. Octopus should never be wearing purple. Okay, like this is ridiculous. Like
that's fair.
I don't care who he's supposed to be representing. Like it's not Dr. Octopus if he's wearing purple. It's just not working. Yeah. Look at this.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Well, so next page, we introduced ourselves to Mary Jane Watson, aka the Insect Queen, which I have no idea.
The dumbest costume I've ever seen.
It's pretty bad. I ain't gonna lie.
This looks like something Dave Gibbons would come up with, to be honest with you. Like some.
Oh, you stop that.
That was supposed to be a goof, but then she does some Watchmen, shit like a Watchmen.
It looks like Sally Jupiter. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Sally Jupiter for real. Like it looks more like a bumblebee. Look like this because the insect queen. But spiders aren't insects; they're arachnids. So it's like a bumblebee with this. That's so weird. This is a bad design. This don't make no sense.
Well, anyway, Rob, thank you for indulging me. I appreciate it. This was.
Let's look at the stupid made-up names. Who's Saul Pomerantz? That's the one who's that. So Steve Logan. Man, they got really specific on this fake address. Scotland Bridge at Dawn.
Wow.
Like Max Calvada. These are some weird. I don't know what these names are. Look, you even put a fake email. You should email that. See if it responds.
Oh goodness.
I
listen. I enjoyed this. It was great. You schooled me once again as far as what how to make comics and make them more a different perspective. And I had a great time reading these again. And even though I don't love them all, I think Super Soldier is a better comic, to be quite honest. I think you're being really harsh on my boy Dave, but that being said, I like some of the additions you made, and I appreciate you doing this. I can't wait to come back on the show again and do this. And I
would presume to change one panel on the killing. That's Brian Boland, but on Watchmen or Martha Washington,
I need to read Martha Washington. I have it. I need to read it.
Yeah, but he draws, cool military, paramilitary.
But he does.
Dystopian society.
I told you, Rogue Trooper, man. It's great.
Yeah. You can't put SS on a fucking comic where you're fighting Nazis.
I know, man. That you got me on that one. You got me on that one.
It bugged me then, and after all my years of kids licensing, I'm like, you got to know when you're putting some on that can. You got to be careful, Paul, that you don't create something that can cause 100,000 chargebacks. You know.
I don't think I'll ever get that far, but you never know. But yeah. Lord willing.
Well, like I said, I think these are great ideas that just need more development, but that's not how comics generally works. Everyone flies off the seat of their pants to rush to get it out, and then everyone complains, and then they're like, "Well, we didn't really develop it. We had a limited time." We're all like, "All right, whatever." Like when you're trying, don't complain when you don't make the hundreds of millions of dollars because you didn't develop properly.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah. Artistic choice.
Even George Lucas hired Ralph McQuarrie to do 12 developmental paintings to create the look of Star Wars, right? Like you get that look down before you start. And it may not be the final one that ends up in the movie, but it is cohesive vision.
It's a baseline.
And I think like it needed a cohesive baseline. And I think Bruce Timm and them were at that whole crew. Darwin Cook would have been in that mix even at that time, and they didn't know who he was, but he was storyboarding and stuff. So Glenn Murakami, and I just think like that's who I would have leaned on to do all the developmental stuff. Like they could have done it in a month. And then handed it out to the artists, So they could have storyboarded or thumbnailed out all the issues or ideas, but this was done like, I feel this was like writer driven,
Absolutely.
And this shows when you're like, look at all this stuff I can pack into 3 pages. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that, but this 3 pages should have been the whole book. Look, that is the only fucking Dave Gibbons panel in the whole book, bro. Like this, like ban out and just like scroll across. None of that looks like Dave Gibbons, but that does.
We're so hateful. It's so hateful.
I love it.
Anyway, I know.
Thank you for making me do this again. I really appreciate it.
I had a blast. I don't care what you think. I love it. This is great. It's fun.
At least I show what I would do, and I don't just say what they should do. How about that? Right?
Exactly.
All right, everybody. You can follow Paul at the Comic Binge. I'll have links below. And join us again next time where I'll pick something that Paul will hate, and we'll go on that. I guarantee you I will. It'll be fun to watch.
Okay.
Bye.